Hello everyone, so today I'm talking about sleepy glutes because there's a lot of us that spend a lot of time sitting down and we're not utilising these big bottom muscles as much as possible. So how do we get our glutes activating really well without all of the compensations of the hamstrings kicking in or our lower back kicking in instead? What often can happen is that when we try to do hip extension, which is what the glutes do, if we haven't got that movement, we haven't got that activation from the glutes, what will happen instead is we'll create that extension somewhere else, and we'll usually create that with that lower back, which can lead to lower back pain, or we can end up using the other muscles in the chain downwards from the glutes like the hamstrings and the calves, and that can lead to hamstring and calf strains instead. So how do we get those glutes firing? Here are 3 exercises for you to try. Okay, so exercise number 1 for your glutes is called the poke. The poke is where we are literally going to poke into the glute muscle, and then we are going to contract the glutes where we are poking. This really helps sleepy glutes to get activated, especially if they've been a little bit sleepy for a long while, they've been a bit inhibited, a bit switched off, and just trying to re-find where they are again. Sometimes when we've had muscles that haven't been working for a while, the brain can actually lose where those muscles are on its brain map of the body, and it just finds it really hard to find them, so that's where it starts to go for the compensation patterns instead. So we want to make a very clear indication of where those glutes are by poking them. We're going to give them a poke and a squeeze, a poke and a squeeze. So we're just squeezing right where the finger is, and we can do that all over the bottom and just get all of the different fibres starting to fire up again, so that we increase that visibility in the brain's map of where the glutes are again. That's exercise number 1, the poke. Okay, so exercise number 2 for the glutes is to actually use their functional movement, which is hip extension. So what we're going to do is take the hip into extension. Now the hip only goes to about 30 degrees of extension, so what lots of people make the mistake of doing is they try and go even further, and that's when they try and bring in all of these compensation patterns. And we're not supposed to get that much hip extension, so it's okay for it just to go to here and back. That's its range of motion, so that's fine, let's exercise it there. However, what we can do for a muscle to contract, it's better if it first lengthens, because if it's gone all the way to its lengthened position first, then the only way it can go is into contraction. So we're going to utilise that theory now, and we're going to bring our hip first of all into flexion, so we're going to pull it forward, and then we're going to squeeze into the glute and come into extension. So we come forwards, we let that bottom relax, and then we squeeze with that poke and come back into extension, and it just gives that that activation of the glute just a little bit more welly, because it can have a full contraction from its extended length where it's been put into flexion first. So just something to utilise. Try that one and see how you get on, and see if you get a better activation of your glutes. Here is our 3rd exercise for glute activation. We are going to utilise the patterns that happen in walking, which is where we utilise our opposite limb in order to activate a little bit more. Now when we're walking, what will happen is if our left leg is back, then our right arm will be back, and if our right leg is forward, our left arm will be forward. So we get this opposition pattern going on. So if we want this to fire up a little bit more, we're going to bring in the extension of the arm as well, and we're going to do that using a resistance band. We're going to activate our latissimus dorsi, which is a massive muscle that comes from the shoulder down to the pelvis, and then it comes and draws its force down into the opposite side buttock, okay, into our glutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold the band, we're going to activate our left leg and our right arm. So we're going to hold the band with the left arm, and then just pull down and back into extension with that right arm. So we've got that extended in the right arm, and then we do the squeeze into the left glute and pulling back, coming backwards, and then we go again. We're going to squeeze back with that right arm, squeeze into the left glute, and then come into extension and then back. So we're really firing up that brilliant partnership really that happens between the 2 limbs as well, just to try and get an even better functional glute activation for you. So give them a go, see how you go, and let me know how you get on. Take care, have a good day, bye.